Hi, my name is Lizzy, and this is how I got my job working at Smosh. So today is officially my 1-year anniversary of working at Smosh, and it's a great job. I love it so much. I get a lot of questions about how I got the job, what did I do, how do you get into this industry at all. So I'm gonna take you through my experience in the YouTube world and how I got to where I am today as fast as I can. When it comes to YouTube, I'm a fan first. I grew up watching YouTube. I have been watching since like 2006, really early stages of YouTube. I watched the YouTube Live where Bo Burnham and Katy Perry performed. I was really there from the beginning. I grew up in a really small town in Texas, so this was like kind of my way to access the rest of the world and people who liked weird and nerdy things like I did. Some of my favorites from early YouTube include Mitchell Davis, Mystery Guitar Man, Rhett and Link, and others who have since been canceled. And that inspired me to create my own channel a few years later called SoundProofLiz, the channel you're watching this on right now. So I've had this SoundProofLiz channel for 10 years, but before that, I was just on a channel that had my own name, and I was making silly videos in my bedroom and uploading them, and nobody was watching, and it was fine. After high school, I went to culinary school, actually, because I wanted to be a pastry chef. And then I realized that lifestyle, that kind of hustle and bustle of that industry in particular, was not really what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to keep that more as my hobby. So then I took my hobby, which was YouTube, and turned that into my major. I switched to film. While I was doing that, I was making my own videos on this channel, and I got into a Twitter relationship with the Game Show Network because I loved the Game Show Network, and they ended up sending me like a box of merch, and I did an unboxing, and they were like, hey, we're actually making a YouTube channel called Door 3, and we want you to be involved. I was like 17, 18 at the time. And I said, this is my dream come true. So I was doing social media for them and making videos for them while I was going to film school in Austin, Texas. And eventually they were like, you know, if you came out to LA, like we could introduce you to more people, we could put you in videos, etc., etc. I had conversations with my mom and I was like, I have to take this opportunity, and she agreed. And so I dropped out of college and me and my mom moved to California. I got to do a lot of really cool things. I got to meet a lot of cool people. Ultimately, I did not receive the full-time status at Door 3, and they could no longer support me as their contractor or whatever. So my work with Door 3 ended, and I had to get a regular job, a 9-to-5 job. I worked at this SEO company. SEO is search engine optimization. It's how you optimize your website so that it pops up higher in search engines, and that comes into play with YouTube videos as well. And this is all building on my YouTube experience, right? So then after I was working there, I started working at Fullscreen, which, if you don't know what Fullscreen is, it was one of the first multi-channel networks, MCNs, that they would like manage. They would offer to be managers for YouTubers, like help them get brand deals and help put them in different shows and stuff like that. I was on kind of the opposite side. We had like several sections of Fullscreen. It was a really big company. The part of Fullscreen that I worked in was essentially another agency. We would help manage and strategize and report on YouTube channels for companies, entertainment companies, and other companies like. My main clients were 20th Century Fox and NBC and E! News. So all of these like really big entertainment conglomerates, we would upload their videos to YouTube for them. We would, you know, deck out the description with all the right keywords, make the titles good, and do the tags, and make the thumbnails, and schedule them to go out on the right time, and schedule them to go private at the right time. So I was doing that. We got to read scripts for upcoming movies for 20th Century Fox, which was really cool, and then pitch like YouTube marketing ideas. And the way I got that job was I just interviewed, and I talked about my love for YouTube and my experience both personally and professionally with the year that I worked at the SEO company, and then the years that I was working with Door 3, and the years that I was managing my own YouTube channel. So I was at Fullscreen for 6 years, and that's a long time in the digital world. I was one of the people who was there for the longest at the end, and the end came last year when Warner Brothers or Warner Media acquired Fullscreen as part of this huge like deal, because Fullscreen was owned by this company called Otter Media. Otter Media was bought by AT&T. Warner Brothers was bought by AT&T. And then they all like smushed us all together. And so eventually we were under the Warner Media umbrella. Unfortunately, they decided not to continue that YouTube business, so we had a bunch of layoffs during the pandemic, and I survived to the very, very, very end, and they were like, okay, Fullscreen is no more. So then I got laid off. I am incredibly lucky that I was honestly fine because I had been there for so long. I did get severance pay, which is where you get paid for being laid off when you're not working anymore, like for a certain amount of weeks or months. It depends on how long you've been there. So I got laid off and I was looking for a new job. I looked at LinkedIn and I saw that Smosh was hiring. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so funny if I worked at Smosh. Like after having watched YouTube for years and years and years, to like come work for like an OG YouTuber like company was like really felt full circle for me. So I applied like you do any job. And just through the nature of working in YouTube or like the digital agency world in LA in particular, one of my former coworkers is the YouTube manager on the mythical side, and so he kind of vouched for me. And the person who was in my position before me was promoted. She actually used to work at Fullscreen too with one of my other coworkers who I'm really good friends with. So networking always helps, and I worked at Fullscreen for so long and so many people came and went in that time that I know so many different people at different companies who used to work at Fullscreen. So because of this and like also my amazing experience and talent, I got to interview for the job, and the rest is history. And now I work here, and I've worked here for a year, and it's really great. So what I do at Smosh is I upload all the videos, I do all the descriptions, I write the titles, I help with thumbnail creation, I report back on analytics to our executives, to the channel directors. We strategize on what series are doing well, what's not doing well. I change the title and thumbnail if they're not performing at a certain amount. So if you ever watch Smosh and you're like, they changed the thumbnail, I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm trying to do my job, trying to work that algorithm, trying to get us some more views, baby. I've been helping create the shorts for the channel. I manage the playlists and like the layout. I help with the community tab. There's a lot of moving parts that you don't always think of when you're watching a YouTube channel or a YouTube video. We have like 40 employees at Smosh, and we have 4 active channels. We got Smosh, Smosh Pit, Smosh Games, and L Smosh. And then some other inactive channels that might be coming back in the future. I can work from home whenever I want, and the office commute is like so nice. The culture and the environment of the office is like very chill. Everyone's so funny, like so funny. I've never had this many funny coworkers. But of course they're funny. They're all like writers, producers, directors of a comedy channel. So everyone just is so nice and funny and understanding and passionate about what they do. It's very comforting coming into that after having been at like a more corporate kind of pessimistic company, I would say. I mean, obviously toward the end, they were pessimistic for a good reason because everyone got laid off. But it just feels exciting to go into the office. I get to watch a free comedy show like every 3 weeks or whatever. We have a shoot week. Working in like the digital world, I'm always like looking at computer screens, but with this job, it's really cool. I get to see the production part of it too. I get to watch us film our videos, and I've never really worked on a film set before. I've just kind of been on like friends sets sometimes, and that's like my 2 friends have a camera and that's about it. So I've never been on like a true production film set, and like everyone at Smosh is like really good and knows what they're doing, and it's just so cool to be able to watch that. Funnily enough, I never really watched Smosh back in the day, and I think that has actually helped me because I was kind of like a fresh set of eyes whenever I started working here, and I didn't have like any of the lore baked into me. So if something was a reference and I would be like, well, this doesn't really make sense to me, we could change it to be more universal and understood by new audiences as well. I would say the hardest parts of the job are just working on YouTube in general. It's like the hardest part of all the jobs I've had working with YouTube is just like, you never really know. You can strategize all you want based on like past learnings, but if the algorithm doesn't pick it up, if people don't see it, it's just like, well, gotta try again next time. And it's so frustrating. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you ever are watching a Smosh video, just like comment down below, hey Lizzy, I know you're seeing this because I read all the comments. I'm the only one who's uploading. It's just me, a team of one woman show. I'm doing it all. If you don't watch Smosh, why not? It's actually so good. Let me know if you have any other questions about what it's like to work at Smosh or how I got the job, etc., etc. in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.